Hello, all. Welcome back to What's On Tonight, a podcast with elaborate, quirky, and unpredictable conversations about TV, movies, and more. I'm Becky.
And I'm Mandy.
Y'all, we are coming to you with probably our most special episode ever. We have with us today Jeanette O'Connor, who plays the intriguing and absolutely hilarious Myrna. Jeanette, welcome. I cannot tell you
Yay!
how happy we are to have you.
Oh my God, you guys, you're gonna make me cry.
Well, Becky and I have talked several times about this on the show about how I wanted to be an actress when I was a kid. I specifically wanted to be a character actress. So I love somebody who can just grab the screen from the moment that they come on and like even especially in a small role like that, and you blew it out of the water. Like you did just such a great job. That character reminds me so much of the women in my family. She stole my heart.
Oh, you mean they're all foul mouthed broads?
Yes. Well, more just the crazy part. You never know what they're going to say or how they're going to act. Ungovernable is the word that I would use. So I loved her.
Very fun. Well, I love you guys, I can tell you, because you feel like somebody.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, you are someone and someone who is absolutely fascinating. And I want to tell this story real quick. When you had agreed to come on with us, Mandy was out with her family, and I called her and she didn't answer me.
I think it was a graduation, wasn't it?
I think it was like important, right?
Yeah.
And so I text her and I was like, I know you're with your family right now, but I need you to call me. I have something to tell you and I don't want to wait. And she called me and all I kept saying over and over is, we got Myrna. We got Myrna.
And my whole family was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? You are among friends. And honestly, after reading your IMDb, we're going to keep it to about an hour, but probably conservatively days, just talking to you about your experiences.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, if we run out of time for this and you ever want to come back on, you're welcome anytime.
For sure.
Oh, you guys are great. I love it. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's dive into our questions. So,
yeah, sure.
Mandy and I, along with our listeners, are absolutely fascinated with Myrna. And you do such an incredible job portraying that character.
Thank
and
you.
Something we like to ask all of our guests is, can you tell us, how did you end up as Myrna for the Pitt?
Well, as pretty much all actors, we get an audition for a role. Our agent sends us the information for us to do a self-tape. And the minute I looked at the script, I said, oh my God, this looks like they wrote it for me.
So you know perfect. Women like that, you either are or know women like that in your life as well, correct?
Oh, of course. But I mean, this is a character that I easily could portray. I could feel that. Right. So I felt, oh my God, if I don't get this, forget about it. I'm done,
Right.
So we just, submitted the self-tape. And much to my surprise, they called several days later. I forget how long it took, and told me I got the part. And they booked me for 7 episodes, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, I was in tears.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was in tears because, you don't get these opportunities. I mean, it's just very difficult anymore to book work.
Yeah.
It really is, especially, an older woman and, all that stuff. So, I mean, it's like, it was a miracle. It was a miracle for me. And, they were casting so many roles. I understand there was like over 200 roles in this series, which is crazy, right? So to be one of them, it was a blessing. But that's basically it. That's how we all audition for our roles. That's how that happened now on self-tapes because of the COVID thing. We don't go in person anymore.
Yeah.
So they take a chance. They cast you from a tape. They really don't know, what you might be like in person.
That leads me to a follow-up question. So in the state of Tennessee, I work actually my real life. I work for the state of Tennessee and work completely remote. And now, for reasons, there is pushback. I won't go down that rabbit hole.
Oh God, let's not.
But what have you? But they're making us go back into the office more. So do you foresee that changing in Hollywood, that they go back to more in-person interviews?
Well, they have been doing it somewhat for commercials. I've done that a couple times in person. But for the most part, I mean, it's so convenient for people to just, audition from home, and it's great for the casting people. They don't even need an office anymore. They could just do their work from home. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's less expensive for them, and it just works out. We don't have to drive anywhere in the middle of terrible traffic usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to hate those Friday afternoon auditions way the hell over, in Santa Monica or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. And your traffic is a special kind of
It
bad.
was a nightmare, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they still do those in-person things, but we were grateful not to have to do that.
So we have a question from one of our listeners, KProbs713 via Reddit. They say, you nailed it as a frequent ER flyer. Did you have any particular inspiration for how you portrayed Myrna? And then a follow-up question that goes along with that from listener, and forgive me, listener, if I get this wrong, Kalalal.
I think that's Chololo LOL.
Okay, that's better. Thank you. Chololo LOL, also via Reddit, wants to know, were all your lines scripted or did you get to do any ad-libbing?
Okay. As far as creating this character, or did I get any inspiration anywhere? No, it all came from my gut, girls.
Love it.
It was all my gut. That was it. Instinct. There you go. That's how it works. That's how it works. You don't have to, you just play you in that situation and, in that character. And that's all you got to do. You say the words are written for you. I mean, actually, yes, I was able to do some ad-libbing, with certain directors who were open to that. So that was kind of cool. By the way, I loved my directors. Damien and Q and Amanda. I mean, they were all so great. I only worked with John Wells on the last episode, so I didn't get to know him very much. But I loved, we had so much fun with all that. But anyway, getting back to your question, what was it?
Well, you answered it, that you did get to ad-lib, and you yourself were your inspiration for Myrna. So that's amazing.
Yes.
So follow up, I'm assuming that the fruitcake line was not ad-libbed. That was in the script.
That's in the script.
Do we know why?
And we don't know why. Exactly.
I feel like there's a Christmas theme episode in the future, because at first I thought it was like a gay slur, and I was like, is she a dementia patient or something? But then I think now, after the whole series played out and you get to know how deeply mysterious and complex Myrna's backstory probably is, I feel like there's an actual fruitcake involved somewhere.
Well, you never know where that might lead. If they continue on with that, who knows?
Man, I hope they bring you back. I'm going to be so sad if they don't bring Myrna back.
If you get a chance to go back and listen to any of our podcast episodes, I think the most fun we had is making up backstories for you.
Yes.
Oh, really?
We had you being the one who, like John McClane in the air ducts, taking out the shooter. We had you showing up at Robbie's house. I mean, the stuff we came up with Myrna. Mandy, do you mind if I skip to question 3 really quick?
No, not
Since
at
we're
all.
talking about it. So you've got your interactions with Myrna and Dr. Robbie, and that was absolutely hilarious.
Yes,
And
love
Wakeboard Girl from Instagram wants to know, What was it like after you finished shooting those scenes with Noah Wyle?
After we finished shooting, well, I mean, they just go on to the next scene. But during the shooting and every take we did, the whole company is laughing their asses off. Okay.
I think that's what she was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're laughing their asses off. And it's just so heartwarming to watch their faces,
Yeah.
smiling and, laughing. And it was just really awesome. And of course, Noah, I love him so much. He was such a, oh God, I don't even know how to explain it. He's so there for you. He's so generous and just so warm and personable. And, it feels like he's your friend, that you've known for years, right?
We've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
And he treats everybody that way, which is just so lovely. And, he's so very different. I mean, think about it. This guy's had this amazing career. And, and for him to still be so humble as he is, and, and grateful. I mean, he was thanking me all the time. For being there. I mean, are you kidding me? And I was like hugging and kissing him like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Oh my God.
Becky is deeply, deeply in love with Noah Wyle and has been for 30 years. So,
yep.
Oh, well, yes, he's an amazing human being. Amazing. Yeah. And I'm so happy for his success with this show. Just warms my heart, and it just is amazing. I'm just so thrilled for him.
Well, it's nice when that happens to the good ones.
Yes, it definitely is.
His philanthropy and his work, his body of work on screen, behind the screen. He's just he's
amazing.
Blows my mind.
He's amazing. And he's, a great family man. He's got a beautiful wife and child. And he's like, yeah, he's the perfect guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. It's nice that when you can be personally indebted to somebody and grateful for that, but also like them as a human being, because that is not always the case. Someone can do you a solid or get you somewhere in your career, and you might appreciate that, but you don't necessarily like them as a human being. But to be able to like and respect your boss, it's really, really something. Becky, do you want to ask that follow-up question?
I do. So, should Myrna make it back for season 2, and every person in the world that watches The Pitt is hoping that you do, would you like to see more of her backstory be revealed, or do you like how she's a little bit of a woman of mystery?
Well, I think everybody likes the mystery.
Same.
Yeah, I do, but I don't. I also want...
We want answers. Yes. But we still want answers, don't we?
Yes, exactly.
Well, it would be nice to reveal things like, why am I handcuffed?
Right.
What the hell?
Here's the thing. Okay, so you're Myrna throughout the whole thing. You disappear for a while. And then at the very end, did you get out of the hospital? Why are you dressed so hot? Were you in the hospital for a seizure the first time and then you had another seizure the second time? Because I have a theory that you're in the casino. I feel like you were in the casinos and that's where they found you and brought you back.
Well, apparently what's supposed to have happened is that I escaped somehow during that whole mess where they couldn't find me, right? And maybe somebody helped me, who knows? But then I went and I robbed stores.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's what I was wearing, all that stuff that I stole.
Okay. I have this idea. One of my many theories is that Myrna is like a high-priced call girl or a madam, perhaps, and that's one of your side gigs, and that you were maybe like in the casinos and had another seizure, and that's when they brought you back.
Yeah. No, they caught me. That's why he caught me. I was handcuffed, and then I had a seizure, so then he had to bring me back to the hospital. But you couldn't see, there were tags on my clothes,
That is phenomenal.
Well, look, guys, we got an answer.
See, you don't know. You don't know those things because it was pretty quick. You can't really tell. And they didn't tell you. So now you can know that much.
That's awesome. Listener Shine a Light.
I love that name.
Yeah, they have
Hey,
great usernames.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have like Myrna level questions about some of these usernames. Like, where did you get that? But that was nice. Listener Shine a Light from Instagram wants to know, are you aware that you are a global icon? And she has global in all caps.
What?
I would not be surprised if Myrna has fan clubs or subreddits or something where they're just talking about her. I did find a couple of Reddit threads where they were talking about Myrna.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
The show was great. Every actor, every
Oh,
scene, every story was great.
yes.
But
Yes,
when
amazing.
I clicked off at the end of an episode and we would go and I would start writing notes and putting together the document for the podcast, you always were your own little section because
Yeah.
everything you said, like there was one moment where you are talking to Dr. Robbie, and I think the way you said it was you asked him if he wanted to see your vagina, and he's like,
Yes.
"No, I already have." And
No,
I'm like, how did they get through that without rolling in the floor?
Yeah.
well, the crew was.
I'm
They
sure.
were doing that.
Oh, it just like the mystery of her. Whoever created that character and then married
Well,
that with your performance. Was it Scott Gemmell that did it?
Scott, yeah, he
It was
wrote.
like he just sprinkled a little bit of extra sugar on top of the cupcake.
Yes, that first line he gave me was it.
Yeah.
You want to see my vagina?
Yeah. Yeah. It really got
I
it
mean,
right
come
out
on.
the gate.
How do you top that?
Right.
But you did. That's what's so amazing is
Yeah.
that you start off with that absolute bang, but every episode that you were in, it just got better and better and better.
Yeah.
And while these crazy things are going on around us, we're sitting here with our podcast coming up with why Myrna is did she really put her husband through a meat grinder? I mean, just
Right.
you're so
like,
amazing.
were you a dementia patient? Were you
Yeah.
were you just some other type of psych patient?
Right.
Had you killed somebody? We just didn't know. But that leads to another follow-up question from Anita via Facebook, and I'll just share some inside baseball. Anita is my mom. My mom
Oh.
really, really loves your character because
Oh,
again,
God love
you
her.
remind her of her sisters. You're so much like that character was so much like the women in my family, which should tell you a lot about the women in my family.
Love it.
She asks, how much fun was it playing Myrna? And does she think that Myrna needs her own sitcom?
Oh my God, wouldn't that be something?
Yes.
I would watch it.
For sure. For sure.
Yes, I think Myrna would be a very fun sitcom person.
Yeah. If Noah and Scott Gemmell and the Dunwells, if they ever decide they want to put their hand in on a sitcom, I think they definitely have a character.
They could do it. Oh my God. Oh, I wanted to follow up on that. My first line when I first entered the series with Noah. Yeah, so because they cut some stuff. Yeah, so that's it. You don't know all of that, which they cut some really funny stuff. Well, for that first speech, after we did you want to see my vagina, and he goes, I've already seen it, da, 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 da. And then I say, can I see your penis? And he says, no, you cannot. And I say, because you're a fruitcake.
Oh, okay.
So they cut that part.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I was disappointed because I thought that was kind of funny, too.
Yeah.
That would have been so good.
Yeah, they actually had to cut a lot of different scenes from other people too, because I guess the time,
Well, there's so many people.
And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of storylines and all this stuff. So, they have to trim something somewhere.
Yeah.
So
it felt like that they were running an entire 3-ring, like an actual hospital emergency room. They had so many people and so much in motion at one time. I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
To try to direct.
Exactly. And edit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know editing a podcast is hard. I can't imagine editing a TV show.
I know. It's got to be humongous. Anyway, go on. What were you saying? Next thing. But just so you know, there was a lot of stuff that was.
I want to hear more about that. Were there any other lines? Was there anything that you liked that was
Oh,
from
yeah.
there?
Yeah, I had a scene with Patrick.
Well, what happened there?
Really?
Dr. Langdon, yes.
What happened there?
Oh my God, you really want to know?
Yes.
Yes.
My director Q did that one with me, and she was very open to me doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the script says, I wheel up to him, he's on the computer. Knock, knock. I don't have time, Myrna. Blah, 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 blah. Knock, knock. I can't, no, I don't know. Knock, knock. He goes, who's there? I say, fuck. He said, I don't have time, Myrna. Fuck. Says, fuck who? Fuck me, who'd you think?
Why'd they cut that? That's great.
I need an outtake.
Well, that's the thing. I wish they would do a reel of outtakes. And then I was doing other stuff with him. I was, touching him, and I even bit his arm a little bit and stuff like that. And Q, the director, she was cracking up. She
Such
said,
a
"Oh, I could
cougar.
watch you all day."
Such a
That is
cougar.
phenomenal.
I mean, is that amazing? I was like, oh my God. And then to find out it was cut I was just so disappointed because it was funny. It was really,
Yeah.
I mean, it was crude, but it was funny.
Well, that's what makes it great. And your
Yeah.
delivery makes you love everything that you're saying, even though it is crude. It's like, oh, Myrna, I love you so much.
What I really want to get into is your career in Hollywood and growing up in Hollywood and how you got into casting directing.
So we've seen that you've done a lot of work as a casting director, and that is a really cool job, I think. So how did you end up as a casting director? And are there any special castings that really stand out?
Well, it all started back in the early 80s, actually. Can you imagine such a thing? How did I get that old? Anyway, so we were in a musical theater group called the Camille Ensemble. My cousin Ray actually was an agent, and he used to teach teen kids at CSUN, Northridge, teenage workshop. He was fabulous. He was a great director. And he did these.
I stayed in
amazing
Northridge
musicals.
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the members, Ted Warren, and we started a thing with the actors doing, we do scenes and we invite an industry guest to come and talk to us, that kind of thing. So we started that way. And then before we knew it, then we were doing a workshop like that with other actors. And then the word got around. We never advertised. It was just always word of mouth and referrals. And we didn't charge hardly anything just to cover any expenses. So we were there. It was like a networking thing for actors. And we wanted to help, their careers too. So anyway, then the word got out and people started coming to us. Oh, can you help us do a music video? Can you help us do an infomercial? Or, things like that. So, and then we cast a whole series of kid song videos. We cast all the adults in these kid song videos that are still available, by the way, online, and they were great. So that's how it all kind of, snowballed. And then my agent, Ray, he kind of had some, connections with different producers and stuff who were looking to produce a film, low budget film and stuff like that. So then that kind of snowballed and we got that assignment, low budget stuff. And then we also worked with Christopher Coppola, who did also produced and directed some of his films. So we cast those. And so it just kind of went on like that.
Now, Chris Coppola is from the Coppola acting family, the entertainment family.
He's Nick Cage's brother.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's we did that for years with different people, and yeah, that was basically it. And then of course I was acting too in the meantime with the little things here and there. So yeah, was able to do both.
That's going to lead to my next question, because this is what I'm really excited to talk a little bit about, is that we went really far back on your IMDb page, and I have a specific question about a couple of your early roles. But I guess my first question is, you grew up in Hollywood, correct? Or in the Hollywood area? You grew up in California?
Well, actually, I was born in Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
Okay, and the family moved out here when I was 11. I started taking in grammar school. I decided I was very shy and word and stuff, so I was smart. I says, I should take drama to get myself more open.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a good idea.
so I took drama and then went on into high school and did plays and musicals and all that kind of stuff. And then even went to junior college and continued working on that. And then as a teenager, I had my first job. It was called A Day in Court. And that was my first on-camera thing.
Was it a television show?
Television show. It was the beginning of all those court shows. Superior Court, Divorce Court. This was like the baby. The Day in Court.
Cool.
Yes, yes.
So were you like acting out real court cases, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the script's probably embellished, but yeah. And then doing my workshops, meeting casting directors and stuff too, that was a big help for all of us actors, because they got to see our work, and that's how, all the jobs started coming.
Were you doing anything else while you were auditioning? Were you like working other jobs while you were trying to make it, or?
No, I, had a baby, and so that was a job.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling.
And actually, I took time off because I, wanted to be with the baby. So, mom duties came first.
I absolutely understand that. But I saw, like I said, we went way back on your IMDb page, and I saw that you were on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes, the Beverly Hillbillies twice. Yes. First one, I played a role named Lee Marvin.
I saw that, and I was trying to rack my brain to see if I watched it, and was the joke that you were Lee Marvin? Because Lee Marvin was famous by then, right?
Yes. Well, so what's his name?
Jethro?
Jethro started an agency.
Okay.
So he was trying to find clients, and he noticed that my name was Lee Marvin.
But you turned out to be a woman.
So he just, took me on as a client.
So this is going in a direction that may be a little weird, but
yeah.
I also happened to notice when I was looking through that, I went down a rabbit hole of trying to figure out what episodes you were on of the Beverly Hillbillies, because I'm not ashamed to admit that I watched a lot of Beverly Hillbillies in my youth.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But I started noticing how many people that you would be completely shocked had been on the Beverly Hillbillies. Like Robert Reiner was on there. Sharon Tate did 15 episodes of the Beverly Hillbillies.
See, I know. It's amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
But then it led me to, I also noticed, because I am a bit of a true crime junkie, and I had noticed that you played Ronnie in the Helter Skelter that came out in 2024. And I believe Ronnie was she Sharon Atkins' cellmate that that dropped a dime on her?
Yes.
So my question is, if you were, I started thinking about it, and I don't know what your age is. The lady never tells, but I'm assuming that you probably were around the same age as Sharon Tate. Did you know her at all? And if so, was it strange being in the Helter Skelter movie?
Well, she was also in a movie. If you look it up, you could find it while I'm talking.
Okay.
Early on, my husband was a prop man in the business, and he worked with her on that movie.
Valley of the Dolls.
Yes, Valley of the Dolls. There you go. Thank you. So he actually worked with her. But no, I never had the chance to work with her. But doing the Helter Skelter thing, it was so emotional. Because working with the gal who played What's her name?
That played Sharon?
Names go out of your head.
Just like that.
I'm already at that point.
Just letting you know that's what's going on.
Yeah. But she played Sharon, the actress that played Sharon?
Yeah. Well, was it Sharon? I can't remember now. It was a long time. It's a long time ago. But anyway, when she was telling me that her experience, that she was the one who stabbed.
Oh, Susan Atkins, the actress that played Susan Atkins.
Yeah,
okay.
That Marguerite Moreau, I think was her name. Anyway, she was terrific. So she was explaining this to me. And then the scene afterwards, I go and I tell the cop what she told me. So I'm in the room with the cop, another terrific actor. And I'm in there. You don't hear us or anything. You see us through the window of the room. But I'm in there with him, bawling my eyes out, telling them what happened. Nobody could hear anything because it was all through this window.
Yeah.
I'm bawling my eyes out because I was so upset about it, the whole thing. And then after the scene, he takes a piece of paper, writes Emmy.
Oh.
You deserve an Emmy for that scene.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Nice.
Well, but you were in California about that time in the LA. Like, do you remember? I mean, I would think that if I were, like, for instance, this is kind of a weird parallel, but there was a mass murderer in Nashville, in the Nashville area, when I was in my early 20s, who targeted specifically people working in fast food or restaurants. And it was very emotional when he finally got caught, because we were so afraid.
Yes.
Our company had mass meetings where they would get, everybody in our particular market together to talk about what to do if he came in at night and he tried to get you to go into a walk-in cooler and things like that. I mean, it was very scary. So I wondered, like, did that bring anything back for you when you played that role of that time?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was like, I remember it was just horrifying what happened. I mean, I get very emotional about that type of, crime stuff like that. It just bothers me so deeply. And anything like with
violence,
children, and, violence with children, is like, I can't, I just
hard to process.
I get just so, it hurts my heart so much that, I can't even explain.
Yeah.
So, like, with roles like that, is it easier to shake off, like, leave Myrna at the end of the day than it is roles like that where you have to have darker subject matter?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's much easier, when you're doing comedy, So, but yeah, that was very emotional for me, playing that little part I had on Helter Skelter. Yeah, it was.
Makes total sense. I would have a hard time with that. But so that's going to lead into my next question, which is, I'm looking over, like I said, everything that you've done. And one of the things that stuck out to me, for a reason that I'm about to reveal, is that you did not one, but 2 movies with Ice-T. So this is where I need to show you.
Oh, God.
This is my votive candle. This is Detective Finn Tutuola from Law and Order SVU, which I was surprised to see you were never on. I genuinely was expecting to see that you had, because it feels like everybody and their mama has done.
But that's in New York.
Well, yeah, good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So that's why, I never got to audition. But wait a minute, what did I do with Ice-T?
You did. You don't remember this? Because one of them, you did Gangland and Under Utopia, and I think you were a casting director on Gangland.
Gangland, that's right. He was. We hired him for the movie. That's right.
I wondered, did you cast him because you already knew? Like, did you meet him? Did you know him at all?
We made offers at that point for the for low budget movies. You just make offers. You don't try to get them to audition. Like that. Yeah. So
that's so cool.
And what else did I work with him on?
Under Utopia, I guess it's a movie about
Below
him.
Utopia. Yeah,
Below
yeah.
Utopia. I'm so
Right,
sorry.
with
Yes.
Elisa Milano. Yeah, I don't think he was around when I worked, though. See, that's the thing. You don't always see everybody in the cast when you're working.
Right. Well, it's pretty coincidental you were involved in two different Ice-T projects.
Well, that's very interesting. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Well, for reasons.
But I had nothing to do with him, actually.
That's so fun. I was sure that you were going to tell me, oh, yeah, like me and Ice-T, we go way back. We run. And like, I was a fan of his because I like gangster rap. I grew up in the gangster rap era.
Oh, my
So
God.
I liked Ice-T then. And then when he started, I liked him in New Jack City, loved him in New Jack City.
Oh,
And then
wow.
when he started playing on Law and Order, that is my favorite. I don't watch a lot of TV, honestly, but Law and
No.
Order SVU is one of
Yeah.
my go-to favorite shows of all time. I never miss an episode. So
Yeah,
I love him as Finn on there. So yeah, I was like totally thinking,
that's so funny. Oh, I'm so sorry. I disappointed you. I mean, I love him too, but it's like we didn't interact. You know what I mean?
on either one of those, you didn't
Not
interact on either
really.
one?
Not that I remember. I mean, we may have seen each other on set by the Gangland, but
No real memories of it.
no.
Well, this is a great moment, though, because much like we have so many different backstories for Myrna, we are going to come up with some awesome backstories of what we think really did happen while you were kicking it with Ice-T.
Yeah, we're gonna make up a whole life of you and Ice-T.
Feel free. Feel free. We could have been rapping together. Who knows?
Oh my gosh, the song. We got to get a song.
Yeah, well, you and I are neither one of us equipped.
Good point. Fair point. Well made.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, you guys.
I want to add, I saw on your Instagram, you have children. Well, and you told me you had a baby. So are your children in the industry?
Well, my son, actually, he's a musical performer, but that's not his job. It's his hobby. But he, when he was little, we had him he was in a group called Show of Hands. So he learned to sign and sing in this group. It was wonderful. Such a great group, this group. It was terrific. They got to even perform in the Thanksgiving Macy's parade one year.
Fun.
Which was just so wonderful. And then as he got older, I think he was like 7 or 8 at that time. And then as he got older, then there was another group that formed called Rock Theater. And they were amazing. So he did a lot of musical performances in that group too. The kids were all terrific. They were all just really great. And then just recently, he was he lives in Orange County, so he was recently in a production of Chess. And then he did another one before that, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor.
Oh yeah, that's a great show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he keeps active in it, and he really is a terrific little singer, actually. So he's he does well, but his main job is he works at an engineering company. So
wow, he's a smart one too.
Manager there, yeah. So
smart and talented. Well done.
Big job. He's got poor kid. He's always so stressed.
Oh
Yeah.
He has a lot of responsibilities there, but he does a great job, and they love him. They won't let him go. He's tried to leave.
Yeah.
He's trying to go get another job that's not so stressful. No, you can't. Here's another little raise.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
Right?
So that's the engineering part that you're talking about. That's the stressful one. Like, does he keep in entertainment to just like as his passion?
Right, for his passion, exactly.
Do you have any grandkids?
No, Kelly. That's my son, Kelly. No, he's gay, and he has a partner that he's very happy with right now.
Yeah,
and so we have a great time when we get together.
But they don't want to have kids at any point. Not that that's any of my business. I'm getting to that point where like my kids are getting old enough that maybe I might have grandkids down the road.
Yeah, right.
Sometime sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, they're busy all the time. They do all kinds of events and
Good for them.
they travel, they have a great time. So I don't think it'd be fair for them to have any kids, actually.
Good for them. Fuck them kids. No, I'm kidding. I love the idea of great kids, but mine, I still tell them,
Not
live your
yet.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not stress them about that at
Yeah.
all. Enjoy
Right.
your life. If it
Yeah.
happens, it happens. But if not, you know,
Exactly. Well,
My husband and I didn't get the opportunity to have kids, but I just pour my love into, like you, my nieces, nephews,
oh
my
yeah.
surrogate
No.
kids. I
Yeah.
always say I was meant to be a mom. I was just meant to be a mom in a different way.
Right, exactly. And I mean, I'm like a second mom to a lot of my nieces and nephews, actually. I mean, because we took care of them when they were babies, and so yeah, we're very close.
Well, you're our
well,
second mom now, so thank
yeah,
you.
we've
Yeah.
adopted you whether you like it or not. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something else that I'm really missing out on that I wanted to make sure that I asked you while you had the opportunity. Well, I don't know if it
Mhm.
is. I've just missed my window. I think
Well,
I'm really fascinated by the idea of you coming up through that 60s and early 70s and
mhm.
the early 80s and how Hollywood has changed so
Yeah.
much since then.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
I would love to like be a fly on the wall for that part of your life and how you made
Yeah.
a living in the industry and continue to make a living in the industry when you've seen so much change over the last
Yeah.
few
Well, it was
decades.
not easy, I mean, really, it's difficult. It's very competitive business. And, I'm always up against, name actors.
Hmm.
So that's why I say it's a miracle if I ever get a job.
But you've diversified so much. I mean, like getting into casting, and then
Yeah.
you have a production company too, correct?
Well, it's not a production company. I just have a workshop that I produce. Yeah.
Okay. What's the
Yeah.
difference?
Well, it's just a workshop with actors that we all gather and we still do it because we still do it on Zoom.
Hmm.
So, because we lost our theater during COVID.
Oh no.
Um,
Yeah, but it works on Zoom, it's just fine. We can do our scenes. We have casting director come in and, direct us and do all that stuff. So that's an ongoing thing that we keep doing. I've been doing it since the 80s.
that's awesome.
So it's scene work. You guys get together and just to like hone your skill.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Wow, that sounds
absolutely.
awesome.
And the
That really is
casting
great.
directors love us.
Yeah, I
They
can't
think
imagine.
we're so good, and we're very particular about, who we have in the group because I don't want anybody to not show themselves at their best. So if
Hmm.
they're not, ready to do this and they're not, professional yet, quite, you know what I mean? I don't want to expose them at that stage of their career. I want them to be really ready so that, the casting people will say, "Oh yeah, gotta
That's
have
interesting
this
that you said that. One of the things going, I don't know, going back to Sharon Tate a little bit, I read the
one."
article about her getting into the Beverly Hillbillies and just that she was talking about the progression of her career. One of the
Mhm.
things that she'd said is, I guess that she had a manager that said something specifically like that, that was why she was doing. I guess she started out as a model. I don't know why this ended up being such a Sharon Tate heavy episode, but I guess she started out as a model and then she did a lot of small parts. And she had said he didn't want to expose her before she was ready to take on
Oh,
larger roles. And I've
yeah,
never really thought about anybody protecting actors that way.
yeah,
So I think that's
exactly.
great.
Yes, absolutely. No, we don't want that to happen at all because, it's my reputation too.
Yeah.
I'm showing you, talent that I think are ready to work and should
Hmm.
be working, all of our people should be working all the time. That's my thing. So, that's
But it's
just
hard. It's a hard
networking.
industry.
It's very hard. And then just, it really requires a lot of networking. And, I mean, the casting people on the Pitt came from my workshop.
Really? I was going to ask. Okay, good. Because that was my next question is wearing both hats.
Over the years, they attended our workshop. So that's how they got to know my work.
Oh,
That's
that's great.
fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, it's so far removed from our lives But I kind of guessed that it was like that because just from the little interactions that we've had with working actors in Hollywood so far, it just seems like it's so much. I have gotten the impression over the course of doing these interviews with the Pitt cast that it's a much smaller world than I ever thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a microcosm where everybody, like you said, like it just networking is so important.
So important. Exactly. And then we don't, it's like a co-op almost because it's not like, I make money doing it. I don't. They donate money and all that money goes to the guest. So that's it. Works out.
Well, good for you.
Get those connections, like you said.
Yeah, that's more important. Having them meet the people that can, give them opportunities. That's what it's all about.
And it obviously is a passion for you.
Yeah.
You clearly are at the point that you're trying to give back and you're trying to help other people.
Oh, yeah. No, I love the successes that have happened over the years, too, with our actors. It's great.
I noticed that one of the things that you are heavy in your casting and in some of the roles that you've taken are horror movies. For you were talking about how hard it was to kind of process the heaviness of that Helter Skelter movie. Like, do you like the B horror movies? I love those.
No, it's fun. No, those are fun. Yeah. No, I wish I could do more.
That seems like those would be really fun sets.
Those are fun.
On.
Yeah, those would be fun to do. Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a guy here in Nashville that named for himself because he hosts horror convention every year, but he also has been able to parlay that into like a production company. And they do like low budget horror films that are usually filmed here in Tennessee. And cool. I just find it so interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been anyone or been on the set or anything like that, but it just seems like those would be really, really fun to do. It doesn't bug you, like it doesn't freak you out or anything.
No, because they're all stupid, but they're fun.
Right.
I love it.
There's lots of those out there. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to work through your IMDb page, honestly, and just use them as inspiration to go find stuff.
You're too funny. Oh, wow.
We got a note from one of our listeners. It wasn't a question, but just something that they said that we wanted to share. Mandy, you want to read that?
This is not a question, as Becky said, but one of our most loyal listeners, Linda Morrison, has left us a note when we posted about interviewing you. And she said, "Oh, I can't wait. I just love her character. I bet she has lots of fun playing Myrna. I love the mystery of her character. I hope they keep her story a mystery. Everybody loves Myrna," with a little heart emoji. So thank you, Linda. I'm glad Becky let us work that in there.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Well, I hope you've gotten a feel from all of this of just how popular this character is and how much she really means to people. And
you were so adored.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. I'm praying for season 2.
We are too. We are too. You tell Noah Wiley, I will riot. If anyone could make me break up with Noah Wiley, it's Myrna. I'm telling you right now. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like Myrna is going to hold out here that the next season is going to be around the 4th of July. I could see Myrna running an illegal fireworks stand. I could see Myrna blowing somebody's nether parts off with a Roman candle. I don't know. I have ideas.
You know what? You're so right.
I feel like she'd love the 4th of July. I'm betting she's got like a star-spangled bikini and some kitten heels.
Oh, God forbid. No.
Look, you looked great in that last scene. I like when they put you in that. I thought you looked so cute.
Oh, thank you.
I felt like that is Myrna. Like that is Myrna. You know, the hospital gown, that's not Myrna.
No, it's not. It was fun, though. I'm telling you, I had a great time. Everybody, I loved the cast. They were amazing. I love all of them. They're just amazing people and so fucking talented.
Oh my gosh.
Can't even tell you. Oh my God, those guys are amazing. I hope they all get Emmys.
Same.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. I hope they do. I hope they bring you back. But I agree with you. Like when Becky wanted to do this show, it wasn't really in my wheelhouse. I'm not normally somebody that watches like medical dramas. I'm so glad she did because
Yeah.
I enjoyed every single episode.
Yeah. Yes. So well done. So well done. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really was. It really is.
Yeah. Well, before we go, the last question we usually ask is, where can our listeners find you? And are there any pages or anything that you have coming up that you want to share that we could let our listeners in on?
Oh, well, I wish I had something more to tell you. I did have a couple auditions, but I haven't heard anything yet, so who knows? So that's always up in the air. And it is kind of slow right, actually.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's kind of, gotten a little bit wanky. I don't know why, but should be picking up. Hopefully, I'll have something to share in the
Well,
near
with your
future.
longevity in this industry, I can't imagine it's going to be too long before
Well,
something. You were in Landman last season, weren't you? Or season before last?
No, I was in Goliath.
Okay. I knew it was something with Billy Bob that was in there, so I
Yes,
apologize.
and
I thought it had been Landman, but yeah, Goliath was a good show.
yeah, it was a great show. I had a really fun scene with him. And actually, they had an FYC event for Landman out
Mm-hmm.
here in the Motion Picture Health Center. They have a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful theater there, and so I did attend. And I did go up to him and I says, "Remember me?" And he said, "Of course I do. How could I forget those beautiful eyes?"
Oh, he's such a flirt.
Aw.
What a charmer! I says, "Yeah, I was Carol. I was your neighbor next door." And he says, "Yes, of course, of course." And he gave me a hug and we
What a
took a quick
sweetie.
picture. He's another one that's very sweet and so down to earth, very humble, very personable, He's really
Yeah.
great. He's really great. He's really great. So that was really
Oh.
nice. And even in the audience, after they did the Q&A, um, because they do a Q&A and then they ask for questions. And so so is there any chance there might be a land woman on the show? Babe? And he said, you never know.
Oh, that's
I could see
wonderful.
you and that guy. I could see you and Billy Bob just from the interviews I've seen. I could see
Yeah.
you guys jiving together pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really, really, it would be fun because I only said that because he was talking about that, when he was shooting the show, this woman came up to him and gave him a real big handshake, almost broke his hand. And she said, "I'm a landman."
Yeah.
And so they do have a lot
Hey,
of
I'd
women.
watch it. Yeah.
They're,
Oh, they
yeah,
exist.
they
Yeah,
have a
for
lot of women
sure.
that do this too. So there you go. Oh, well, thank you guys so.
Well, Jeanette, we want to thank you so much for being here with us today. We genuinely cannot tell you how much this conversation means to us, and I know it's going to mean the world to our listeners that we got to have a chance to talk to you. And if you don't mind, we'll post a link to your social media so listeners can follow you and keep up with what you've got going on.
That's fine. I don't do much really with any of that stuff. I'm on Facebook, Scene Work, Jeanette O'Connor, and I do have Instagram, but I don't really see it that often. But I am there. I am there.
I liked all your Christmas stuff. I really enjoyed you doing all the tours because we're big Christmas people around here as far as decoration goes.
Right.
So I was actually thinking if I could. My mother-in-law is not big into we're very close, and she's not real big into social media. So I was thinking I need to try to help her figure out Instagram because I think she would really have loved seeing all of your Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah. No.
Her aunt is the person that was from Northridge that I stayed with and she spent a lot of time out there with her, and so I thought she'd really get a hoot out of the Christmas in California.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Of course.
All right. Well, that wraps up our interview with the absolutely amazing Jeanette O'Connor. Next up, we will continue our coverage of Prime Video's The Better Sister.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I'm Becky.
And I'm Mandy.
And I'm Jeanette. Love you guys.
We love you.
We love you, fruitcake.
Hey, fruitcake.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you so much, Jeanette.
Bye-bye. Love you guys.